everybody, welcome back to Succeed with Hamid. Today we're going to be talking about the glutes, the hamstrings, and the lower back, and how they are the engine to our body, the forward propellant system, if you will. Now, the challenge with back pain is that one of these parts is very faulty. Most of the time it's the glutes. If the glutes don't fire very well through the exercise, the lower back is going to be the thing that takes over too much, but sometimes it's actually because the hamstrings aren't helping out. Let's think about it this way. If I've got low back, glute, and hamstring, and all three of these guys need to be able to push me forward, well, the glute gets tension from the top and the bottom, and if there's not enough tension here to pull down against the lower back wins. Now I get into this anterior tilt position. My glute is trying to fire, and it's pushing that way instead of straight forward, and it's pulling on the lower back that's trying to arch, and I start to get into disc issues. This takes a long time to do, but this next exercise, if you're in this boat, will help you out try and re-engage those hamstrings. It's called the Swiss Hamstring Bridge. So the Swiss Hamstring Bridge, really quick, if your back is neutral, there should be a little bit of a space here that you can fit your hand into. It shouldn't be so big that your entire arm goes underneath, and it shouldn't be so pressed into the ground that your hand can't go under there at all. It should just be a nice, even, about 30-degree arch the fingers plug into. If the ball you're using changes that, you know it's either too big or too small. So if I pull this green one over here, it's just about a little 45-centimeter one, and I put my feet on it, I arched way too much. Now I can wave at you from this side. So that's probably too small for me to use. If I grab this big honkin' 65 one, now my back is actually touching the floor as I'm just neutral here, and that's probably too big. I can tip that, but I don't want to have to arch my back for this. So I already know this black ball, this 55 centimeter, is just right for my body, but if I'm coaching somebody, this is one of the things I look for. Okay, I should be able to plug in my fingers here just fine. The biggest reason why is that if your arch is already too big or too small, the discs in your lower back are set up in a bad position, and we're going to be training and strengthening something that we don't want to be in. We want to be in neutral, and all I'm going to do is just brace through the hips, push my heels into the ball to engage my hamstrings, and lift up towards the shoulders. And all I look for is just a little bit of stability. There's no need to really rotate the pelvis and over squeeze the core and turn off the normal stabilizers because I've picked the right ball. The last disclaimer I'm going to put onto this is if somebody is really bad with thoracic extension and their shoulders start to come up off the ground, this is not the right exercise for them. Palms up, arms out to the sides. I tend to like to hold these more than doing reps, just because it tires out the hamstrings too much. It doesn't really work the stabilizer system as much as I'd like. About 45 to 60 seconds in here. I usually add this into a circuit for a lot of people, usually as a finishing move. But if somebody has back injuries, this is probably not the greatest thing to start with, but it's something that you want to progress them to. There are some epic progressions of this, though. If you can do hamstring curls, or glute bridges on here, or you can do the single leg version, or you can even do the single leg with the hip flexion, or you can even do the single leg full hip extension and the glute bridge. There's also a lot of counter rotations you can do. If I turn a little bit, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start to contralaterally rotate. And what that's doing is it's telling my hips, my upper body is rotating, so my hips have to respond in a likewise fashion. You can get a dowel rod and hold on to it and come through. You can even try and grab a ball or a block and just start shaking it sideways. And this is lighting up my hip flexors, my glutes, my inner thighs, everything to try and counterlateral this. And my core in the middle of those guys is really, really crazy on fire. So I think that's probably about 2 or 3 minutes. My glutes and hamstrings are fried, so I'm going to stop. So that's it for this video, guys. The Swiss hamstring bridge, about 45 to 60 seconds. Try not to do any more than about 4 sets of that in one workout. You won't be able to walk the next day if you do this right. Your hamstrings will light the heck up and really help support your glutes. A couple little disclaimers. If there's even the slightest bit of back pain in this, get out of the exercise first. Try to tuck the pelvis underneath by activating those hamstrings to pull. Then get back into it. If that doesn't fix it, this exercise is not right for you. There's something else going on allopathically. We need to get through this area first and get you settled before we start pushing the stability too much, okay? That's it for today. I hope this information helps you guys out. As always, have a happy and healthy rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time.